Basic Japanese sentence structure using 寒い cold. Level 1. So in Japanese, you only need one word to make a complete sentence. Let's say you wake up in the morning, you go outside, and it's cold. You'd say 寒い. It's cold. That's it. I didn't shorten anything. I didn't omit anything. It's a full, complete sentence. From here, you can add more information and nuances. Level 2. I'm gonna add this word, めっちゃ, which is a casual, colloquial way of saying very. So you would say, めっちゃ寒い. It's very cold. Pretty simple. There's many ways of saying very depending on your personality, where you're from, or generation. You can say すごい, which is colloquial, or すごく, which is more formal. And if you want to try Y2K fashion, you should say マジ, like マジ寒い, which was pretty popular in the 90s and early 2000s. So many choices. Level 3. I'm gonna add 今日, today, and say 今日めっちゃ寒い. It's very cold today. But here's the thing. I added 今日 even if I didn't have to. And if I add something when I don't have to, maybe there's a reason. For example, maybe I was thinking about today like a bright new day where I can do so much stuff like watching educational videos for research purposes. So adding something is adding nuances. Level 4. Now I'm gonna use the particle は and say 今日はめっちゃ寒い. It's very cold today. Now, what is typically called a topic marker, but it does much more than just introducing a topic. For example, in this case, it kind of highlights 今日, possibly because it wasn't cold yesterday, and I want to emphasize the contrast. But there's other possible interpretations depending on the context and the speaker's intention. Here I'm explaining natural native Japanese, which might be different from textbook versions of Japanese, which are often simplified for learning purposes. But real-life Japanese is complex and full of nuances and ambiguity. Which, by the way, doesn't mean textbooks are inherently bad. They have their own places, like they're useful for not incurring the wrath of the green owl. But if you want to understand the complexity, ambiguity, and the nuances of real-life Japanese, I will teach you natural native Japanese that real-life Japanese people today speak to each other. So click the link and subscribe to my email group, Japanese with Yuta. Level 5. Using this. So let's say you're at work and your coworker asks you if it's cold today. You might say, 今日はめっちゃ寒いです. It's very cold today. So we typically use desu with strangers, people who are older than us, and often coworkers. So by adding desu to plain Japanese, I'm kind of acknowledging the hierarchy, distance, or the relationships. Level 6. Using the sentence ending particle, yo. So let's say you're at work, and you see your coworker trying to go outside only wearing a t-shirt. And since you're a very nice person and you want to save your coworker from hypothermia because it's not very fun to die, you would say, 今日はめっちゃ寒いですよ. It's very cold today. And particles like yo add some nuances and make the sentence conversational. We often use yo to tell somebody something that they might not know. So maybe you're telling your coworker because they don't know, or maybe you're just reminding them. Level 7. Adding だから. Because, and I'm also going to use 12月 December. I can say 12月だから今日はめっちゃ寒いですよ. It's cold today because it's December. You know, Japanese people be too busy working to notice that it's already a new month. You want me to say it faster? もう12月だから今日はめっちゃ寒いですよ. This is a pretty long sentence. It's pretty amazing that you can understand this kind of sentence in a short amount of time. And here comes level 8, word order. Some people say Japanese word order is reversed because if you map the words in the original sentence in the translation, it does seem reversed. But from Japanese people's perspective, English sentences are reversed because Japanese word order is clearly the right order. It's like in English, the conclusion comes first. It's cold today because it's December. But in Japanese, extra information comes first. もう12月だから because it's December. But here's the thing. In conversation, we often say something like this. めっちゃ寒いですよ。もう12月だから. And it's kind of like English. It's pretty common in conversation and it's completely natural. But in formal writing, we might just write 今日は12月だからすごく寒い something like that. Because how we write Japanese can be very different from how we speak Japanese. And natural spoken Japanese is not widely taught. So if you want to learn how we actually speak Japanese, I will teach you the kind of Japanese that real-life Japanese people today actually speak to communicate with each other. Because textbook Japanese can sound very unnatural and non-native like in real life. So click the link and subscribe to my email group, Japanese with Yuta.